Hello everyone, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're returning to Ultimate General Civil War. Today we're going to be fighting, or at least starting, the Battle of Second Bull Run, or Second Manassas. In our previous video we fought the Battle of Thoroughfare Gap and won yet another battle. So far we're playing through a Union campaign. I believe this is roughly part 19 of our Union campaign Let's Play. You can see here we have known nothing but success, something to the order of 13 victories thus far without a single defeat. Our army is starting to be built up into a more formidable force. If we take a look at that, we can see here we have a full first corps of 16,000 infantry, 1,200 artillery, and 750 cavalry. That's 16,870 soldiers with 48 guns. Our second corps in the army, we have 3 corps here, but our second corps in the army under my command is 18,000 soldiers, 48 guns, and that's 18,000 infantry, 1,200 artillery, so actually a total of 19,120 men, although only 18,000 of them are infantry, another 48 guns. And then we have a very small third corps, which consists of 1 division, 3 brigades, and 1 artillery battery, 6,120 soldiers, 6,000 infantry, 500 artillery, 20 guns. This 3-corps force is about to fight the Battle of Second Manassas. We've increased the supply across the board, so all of our units have 16,000 supplies, and we don't really have enough money to really build anything out. We actually could buy another division in the 3rd Corps, but we wouldn't have enough money to equip any of the soldiers with weapons. We could go into our prestige reserve, or our reputation reserve, to buy more money, which would allow us to outfit these 3,800 troops that we have in reserve, but we wouldn't have enough reputation to get more money and more soldiers to fill out the force. So we'd be a little bit limited there. With that being said, I'm going to leave this 47 reputation. We actually get a nice little morale boost of 2 if we don't do anything, and this is a battle that I'm a little bit nervous about. I haven't played Second Bull Run from the Union perspective, but Ultimate General Civil War does a very good job of playing, making it very difficult to play on the defensive, but the offensive, to me, it's a game that is geared toward allowing you to be on the defensive. That's where the game shines the best. I feel being on the offensive is a little bit different. In Second Bull Run, while it has many different phases, you kind of start out in the Union on the defensive, you shift over to being on the offensive, and then you shift back over to being on the defensive, or kind of the 3 phases of the battle. But that offensive phase in the second part of the battle can be very difficult and very bloody, so I'm kind of concerned about keeping my force together. You can see here, it's tempting to just say concede the defeat, take the 25 reputation hit. You'd still have 22 going forward, which is a little bit above what you start at. And if you just took no casualties and basically surrendered, you'd have 10,500 replacements. So we could really build out that 3rd Corps almost all the way with this additional money that we would have and recruits. But I don't want to take that hit if I don't have to. I also don't want to break my army in Second Manassas, because we've got the Antietam campaign coming up after this. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the second battle of Bull Run, or the Battle of Second Manassas, and see what we're going to do. Okay, so you can see here we've got a vanguard component, the front of our army, then there's the main army and the rear guard. Now we have 3 corps. We could bring as many as 4 to bear in this battle, but we've only got 3 to use. The 1st Corps is our elite corps. They're kind of the heavy-duty piece of our army, but I'm a little nervous if I put them in the vanguard. I don't know how that makes what their availability is in the main battle. I don't want to put my elite force into the vanguard because I worry they won't survive. So they're going to be the main army, those 12 brigades of the 1st Corps. Additionally, I could choose to put the 3rd Corps in the vanguard, because intelligence reports that the Confederates only have 5,800 soldiers and 11 guns, so in their vanguard. So if we were to put these 4 brigades up here in the front, then maybe we would do okay, and then we could just shift both of these corps into the main armies for the main fight, or even put one of them in the rear guard. We have to put something in the vanguard, we have to put something in the main army, we don't have to put anything in the rear guard. I'm just not sure what I want to do. I'm not 100% sure what the enemy has coming at me. in the front, so I'm actually going to go ahead and put the 2nd Corps in the vanguard. I'm hoping they'll fall back and join the main army after the first phase of the battle, and then the 3rd Corps will be put in the rear guard. This is just a small force that likely will be more of a delaying force. So our green 2nd Corps, but large 2nd Corps will be in the front, our elite crack unit will be in the center, and our kind of rookie half corps will be in reserve. That's how we're going to set things up. You can see here we've got 7 divisions and 3 corps, 34 brigades, 45,074 soldiers, and 111 guns. The enemy figures are definitely less than what they will be. This is just, I think, the initial phase. So let's go ahead and start. Peninsula campaign has failed, and McClellan has withdrawn to Washington. Meanwhile, the rebels are raiding our supply lines. We must head north and consolidate our forces. Okay. Here we'll try to rally our army and march north. Okay. The Confederates are present in this area and moving northwest. It's probably their cavalry coming back from their supply raid at Manassas Junction. Watch them, but keep moving. Okay. Well, no, it's actually going to be General Jackson's division, but okay. So our troops are marching up this roadway. The Confederates are attacking us through these woods, and that's going to be the fight. This is kind of where the Iron Brigade historically had their first actual battle. All right, let's go ahead and put these guys over here. Do we actually want to take this town, or do we just want to go to this objective point? We just want to really go to this objective point. Let's get into these woods. Gibbon, go back here. Looks like we only get to bring a portion of our army to bear. So, there you have it. I'm not sure what this AI piece... I guess we can give AI command. So we need to capture Bronner Farm. Okay, Hines is exposing his flank a little bit, but we're going to get him in there. Go ahead and get this infantry into these woods. We're going to set our artillery up in this open area here to fire on the enemy. Several brigades of Stonewall's Corps have been sighted. There's the Stonewall Brigade. It's relatively small, so if the enemy really only has the 5,000 men, we should hopefully be able to overpower them pretty quickly. Ideally without taking too much in the way of casualties. Trying to get my men into the woods so they can be a little bit protected from this enemy fire. Alright, Hines, get into this housing area. I'll give you some cover. Gonna be really close range for Hines, though. Okay, so these guys are all engaging at very close ranges. Hines is in some cover. Henry is in better cover. Lorman and Ecor are coming in, trying to get around the enemy. We don't have a ton of room to flank them. You can see we just drove back that artillery. Looks like Trimble has a brigade here, so the enemy's flank is not exposed, as I originally thought. But we do have the advantage of numbers. I just don't want to lose too many men in this fight. Granted, whatever I do in terms of inflicting casualties on the enemy, they'll lose those casualties too, so that's a positive. Okay. Alright, so come on, Gibbon, get back up here. Oh god. You're going to charge right into that artillery. You're going to chase these guys right into that artillery position, aren't you? And then you're going to get hit by canister fire and torn apart. Okay. I need Henry to get up north to support these guys. These lines are really getting jumbled up. Hines is getting chewed up a bit. And driven back for what it's worth. Really, Trimble? That's all you lost? What's this artillery on this high ground doing? Not as well as I'd hoped. So 46 more minutes. Gibbon's just riding all over Kingdom Come, I suppose. Alright. Hines is driven back. Henry, I think, is in good enough shape. Gibbon is just kind of riding around on his own. Alright, Trimble almost dead. Could finish off some enemy brigades. I assume the casualties carry over battle to battle. That would really be great. Alright, I'm wearing these guys out too much. But I don't have a ton of time either. There you go. Nice little volley on Talfaro, or whatever his name is. He gets driven back. Okay. Skirmishing through the town, that's fine. Surprised Trimble's not dead yet. Only got 300 men left. Okay, how's this artillery doing? A little bit better. Little bit better. Got 20 more minutes, so not a lot of time. Alright, I'm gonna risk setting Ekator out into the open. Trimble has gotta be almost dead there. Okay. Well, actually, let's see here. Alright, so Talfaro and Trimble are both running, or he should be. There they go. Come on, we've got to be almost taking this place. Damn, they almost had a volley there. Alright, so Confederates are, I think, losing the objective here. Their flag is waning, losing a lot more casualties than I had hoped. Okay, they're running. We've secured the farm. Lost, again, more than I would have liked. Ah, canister! Shoot at those guys. Alright, there you go. Kill him. Kill him! Man, his brigade is almost dead, but just won't die. I think he's gonna die right here. This next volley. Skirmishers behind you! Alright. His brigade is dead. Okay. too worried about it. I mean, there's not really... Alright, so we won that part of the fight. Proceeding to the next day. There you go. Alright, so I think we did worse to them than they did to us. Looks like we've got our original soldiers as well as this second force. So we've got our first wave and our second wave. I almost wish I could pull these guys back to be part of the second wave. But you can see here there's a first wave attack and a second wave attack. These are our two main corps. We've got about 40,000 men. Now it's telling us the enemy has about 20,000. The downside is that the enemy is going to be heavily dug in. I think we need to be careful with this. Stonewall Jackson's defending and making us to believe that he is trapped, as long as no rebel reinforcements are present. That is merely true. Merely or nearly? We must prepare for a major assault, but in order to keep the initiative, we could attack in waves until our whole army is fully operational. Okay. The incident at Broader Farm revealed Stonewall Jackson's positions. He's isolated and trying to march south towards Richmond. Well, that's not true. He's formed a defensive line along the Stony Ridge, starting from these woods, and ending at Sudley Ford. Although our forces are still not ready to begin the offensive actions, we should immediately send troops to pin him. We have a good chance of crushing one of the South's best commanders today, and we have him outnumbered. Okay, that is, strictly speaking, true. Should also send one division to guard our own left. We might find an opportunity to attack from here. Okay. This is a large battlefield. General, in a few hours, we'll be able to mobilize our full army and outnumber Jackson at least 3-1. It's therefore advisable to be cautious in our first assault until we can advance with our entire army. Okay, so we've got 10 brigades there, 2 brigades here. That's our whole corps. I almost would rather try and march up and around Jackson's position and hit him from the rear, if that's at all possible. I really don't want to assault across open ground. From playing the Confederate side, I know they can dig in along the railroad cut. There's also these earthworks in the rear they can dig in from. So a frontal assault makes me nervous. Wondering... I just don't know what the best course of action is. Let's see here. All these roads. Try and get up and around the enemy, I guess, into those woods. Alright, so I'm going to take the majority, or I'm going to take 4 brigades of my force. Place them on the flank. Alright, so we're going to put 4 brigades here on the flank. I'm going to put all of my artillery on the front, though. I'm going to try and bombard them with artillery. So we'll see here. Let's do this. We'll go ahead and take probe forward with these guys into those woods and into, you know, to see what the enemy has in place on the northern portion of the map. Web will kind of go this way. Go ahead and set our artillery up pretty much all in this clearing, in this opening here. And we'll kind of move our artillery forward as we can. Let's see here. Move these guys. So we're going to have kind of one grand battery in the center. We'll kind of probe them there. And I think that's everybody. Meanwhile, on the flank, we're going to try and get the bulk of our army to kind of test out his flank. So Lawman was kind of heavily engaged. We'll put him here. Put another brigade to Lawman's flank in this wooded area. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to send Bass around the enemy and Baxter, or attempting to bring him around the enemy. I may be way too kind of split up and divided on my objectives here, but we'll see how this works out. I think if the enemy's weak anywhere, it's down here in this wooded area in the south. I may be able to get around him. I don't think Longstreet shows up till tomorrow. Could be wrong, but I don't think he will be there till tomorrow. Okay, so we'll see if the enemy's dug in along these railroad cuts or if they're back further in their earthworks. I think the railroad cut, my experience defending it, was actually a better defensive position. Go ahead and divide up some forces into some skirmishers. Yes, they are. Do appear to be in these positions, or at least some troops appear to be in these positions. Alright. That's enough fast forwarding there. Whoa. Webb, stay back. Although he's not in very heavily... He's not in much strength. Could just try and bombard Greg out of his position. Alright. So far, so good. These guys are going to have to kind of keep moving around the Confederates here. Just 2 brigades initially. Move him up to support this kind of attack. And again, really, it's just feeling the enemy out. Let's do this. We might be able to push Greg out if we focus all of the bulk of our resources on one narrow point. Once Webb can get into cover, maybe he can fire some volley fire. So, alt here, shoot there. Branch is not in a defensive position there, so that's nice. The enemy could try and turn us. It does look like they're moving some troops through these defensive works, so we'll see how this all works out. Go ahead and split some skirmishers off from Deering to move north to kind of feel out Pender. Webb is not doing much here. Artillery's all firing on Greg, who I thought was a little bit more exposed, but may not be, I guess. The enemy's going to advance out of his defensive works, though. I'm perfectly happy if he's just going to sit in the open here. Okay, the Stonewall Brigade's on the flank there. Let's move around. I'm gonna move Deering around. Go ahead and move these guys up. Webb is getting chewed up a bit. He's got Early just sitting behind those positions in the open, though. Much rather engage early. Still not doing a ton of damage there, though. Taking quite a bit of punishment. Whoa. Okay. Maybe way overextending my lines here too. Very much a realistic possibility here. General Hooker's wounded. Webb's brigade's flanked. He's got a brigade to his front and his rear. Outing. Let's move him up to the flank. Get him into Field's rear. No, I really don't want you meleeing these guys. Shoot a frickin' volley. Disengage from the melee. There you go. Got one unit up here that's out of ammo. Come on, Henry, shoot into Field's rear. Why can't I select him? Huh. Alright, so we've got 3 brigades moving up and over. I don't think we've got enough time to pull it off, though. Shoot a volley into him. You should be able to do damage from the rear, I would think. When you're literally astride their flank. Fire, goddammit. Why aren't they shooting? I really didn't want to try and unravel their line via melee, but at this point we've just got such a preponderance of manpower and a couple of select units that maybe it's worth it. And okay, that rapidly caused them to retreat. Just trying to set up my defensive or my line here, guys. Alright, so Greg is now retreating. Awesome. We've kind of pushed through their first line, at least up here in the north. Meanwhile, on the flank, we've got 3 brigades that are kind of running, not running, but marching to the objective here from behind the enemy lines. I don't know what the enemy has on the actual position. We'll find out shortly. Again, I'm not pushing too hard in the center. I could probably press a little bit harder. Early's trying to get into those defensive positions. I don't think he's there yet. I think he's kind of running over open ground. I really hope he is. The interesting thing is it doesn't seem like my guys can do anything. The enemy definitely has some artillery pieces up here. Alright, so advance through the center, guys. I know we're not using all of our troops, but again, I'm not trying not to get hurt too bad. I'm hoping the enemy's just so spread out that this rear attack here will have success. You can see here we are really shredding some of their artillery. I wonder if we take the objective if we win the battle on day 1. Okay, let's move our artillery forward. Alright, so we just took Stony Ridge. That's the objective. That's our only objective in this particular fight. I would imagine the AI would pull out and try and respond, but thus far they haven't. Just pulled a clever little move on the rebels, I hope. That is the end goal. I need some ammo up here. Moving my artillery forward, as well as Gibbon. Nelson's kind of staying here to protect the flank. You can see her field is moving forward again. We've got a couple of enemy units in the open, engaged. Okay. Alright, Walker's battery's routed as well. Just have to hold this position for a little bit longer, I think. And we'll bring these skirmishers down here to deal with Pender. We've kind of poked a hole in the center of the rebel line. You can see Lauman is falling back after, you know, fighting against Johnson, who's dug in and in a tough position, I think. Trying to bring my ammunition wagon forward so I can give some of these riflemen who are low on ammo a little bit of a reprieve. Alright, so there you go. We've taken the objective. Because the question is how long we have to hold it. Okay, kind of surprised Early's still hanging on there. A lot of my troops that I've committed thus far are really tired, though. Alright, go try and take those supplies. Meanwhile, we'll move Deering forward. Hit Johnson from the rear. We'll have Henry hit Johnson from the front along with Lauman. These guys are going to take heavy casualties, but there you go. Johnson's already retreating. Okay. 14 minutes left. Taking the ridge. We've poked a hole through the middle of the Confederate lines. I'm doing a really horrible job of managing kind of my front. Alright, well, gearing down this way. Stonewall Brigade's kind of coming up from behind, but again, we've got 4,000 men on the objective. And the rest of our force pretty much has not a clean shot through, but certainly could work on getting through. Early's routed now, or pulling back at least. We're exploiting this gap in the center. Now we can try and roll up the whole Confederate line. Rear flanked. Pender's just kind of sitting there. Victory, there you go. That's it for the Battle of Second Manassas. It was 4,000 casualties against 5,000 Confederates. I think that's really the best way to win. Now, that kind of feels like we were taking advantage of the Confederates a little bit. We captured not a ton of weapons. Did capture some guns. We didn't lose any, I don't think, of our own. So, yeah, a little bit of a less bloody but more militarily brilliant flanking march, I would say, on my part. Yes, that is right. The Union Protector Star. So I don't know what that means, but I just won another award. And 2 career points, $260,000, 20 plus reputation, 15,000 recruits. Ooh boy! That was about as good as I could hope. Only 4,000 casualties in what was otherwise a very difficult battle. If we would have gone head-on at the Confederates, frontal assaults, it could have been a lot more difficult. But as it was, we did win, and we've got now Crampton's Gap, followed by South Mountain. Well, I actually think that's the order we'll probably do these in. And then we have the Battle of Antietam, which is another one of the grand battles, the bloodiest day in American history here. You can see a huge prestige hit if you lose that battle, -40. So even though we've got that nice positive of 67 prestige, which gives a huge morale boost of 7, if we were to lose the Battle of Antietam, that would be rough. Meanwhile, here we've got an additional career point. Actually, I should take a look before I decide what to do. Let's see if we go into the Battle of Antietam. How many cores do we need? So you need a minimum of 3, attacking the left, the center, and the right, and then ideally a 4th corps as well to have some reserves. We won't be able to have 5 corps, but certainly it would be nice to have 4. With that said, we'd need a whole bunch more men to have a 4th corps. We also would need to spend our money on army organization, so the next one just gives us an extra brigade for every corps, which we certainly want to do. It'll be nice to have that. If we go to Army Organization 6, it will give us... It won't actually increase the number of corps we have. It'll just increase the number of divisions we have per corps. So we can't even get our Army Org to where we want right away. So with that being said, I think we'll just take the +1 Army Org. And I think we'll go with... Do we want to go with economy, medicine, or politics? Let's go with medicine. I want to keep trying to get more and more of our casualties replaced so we don't have to worry too much about... Well, actually, no, let's go with politics. We need that money so we can get better weapons. So 1 money, 1 army org. It opens up the ability to have an extra division per corps. The 2nd Corps did the bulk of our fighting in this last battle. You can see they also lost 2 division commanders. If we go to the barracks here, you can see we have Jordan Schweitzer wounded, Joseph Hooker wounded. Fortunately, we get Sedgwick and Nelson back, so we can actually just plug them in to those divisional command roles without having to spend anything. So William Nelson commanding the 2nd Division. Go ahead and have John Sedgwick commanding the 3rd Division. Meanwhile, we've got a couple of units that have need some replacements. These guys lost about 600 men. So even though we didn't lose too heavily, the 2nd Corps lost all of our casualties. They were the only corps engaged. You can see here some of these units did gain some decent experience, but we need to go ahead and get them some reinforcements, which will cause a pretty big hit on their experience. Not decisive, but certainly they won't be quite as proficient as we would maybe have hoped. But I'm going to go with green replacements right now so we can use that money to maximum effect here. And again, these guys are veterans compared to where they were before. They're 3 times more experienced, 3 times more, or at least double in almost all of their statistics. So that's going to be nice here. And it looks like we actually were able to replace all of our losses without spending a very minimal amount of money on new weapons for the replacements. Meanwhile, you can see here some of these guys have gotten promoted in the last battle. I didn't actually look through all the details, but you can see here some of our artillery commanders got promoted. They have new traits. I think we're going to go with efficiency and ammo for our artillery battery there. For our infantrymen, their colonel, we're going to go with discipline, so that gives some morale and efficiency perks. You can see here a nice big perk there. Nelson's brigade also got a little bit of a bonus, so we'll go ahead and give that to them, and you can see these guys becoming much more efficient with that nice little bonus, and that's it. Those are the only guys who fought. The rest of these guys did not engage. We've got $200,000 in the bank. It's just a question of what we want to use it on. So I'm not going to spend any money on MJ-type weapons. So we'll go ahead and sell them. 1848 1 Mississippis. I don't have any troops armed with them. So we're going to go ahead and sell that for a little bit of money. Same for the Palmettos. We're going to sell that. Keep the Lorenz in stock because we do have units that have the Lorenz. Meanwhile, the Sharps model could go toward cavalry, but right now our cavalry's at full strength. They didn't even fight, so we'll get an extra $1,000 there. And artillery, we've got some 6-pounders and some 12-pounders, which we captured. And we can actually just assign those to some existing units if we want to give a little bit of a bonus, or we can build a new artillery battery in one of these cores that we still need to build out. I think I'll probably lean toward using them for new artillery units. With that being said, we need to fill out the first, second, and third cores with their extra divisions. So let's go ahead and do that first. That'll eat up, looks like, almost all of our additional manpower. But we'll go ahead and do that first. So the first division needs a new division, or new brigade, and we're actually going to assign Crocker's brigade with their Lorenzes there. Meanwhile, the third division needs an extra unit here in the second division. Sorry, not the third division. I'm just kind of trying to, we'll just build a brand new one here. So we'll go ahead and build a brand new infantry brigade. We'll take a look and see, do we have it? We sold almost all of our weapons. We could buy some Lorenzes. It would be a little bit cheaper because we've got about 400 in stock. So we'll do that, and then we'll outfit them with a full brigade of 2,000 men. That'll cost us $30,000 of our new money. And then actually we need to build another brigade here, but actually I should have picked a colonel to be in charge. So we went ahead and did that. And then we need another brigade in this division. We'll go ahead and build another infantry brigade here. What do we want to arm them with? Don't have enough Enfields or Lorenzes in the shop. Could go with Springfields, but that's going to be really expensive. It'll be worth it, though, and we've got over $200,000 in the bank. So we'll go ahead and do that. It'll be $50,000 to equip a full brigade with these weapons, but we did it anyway. I don't know why I keep buying or assigning majors. Oh, that's because that's what we already had on hand. And then we'll go ahead and assign a Lieutenant Colonel, Patrick Caldwell, to command the unit. Again, not very efficient at this point in time. It'd be better with a better commander. But it is what it is. So the second division is now filled out, and then we've got to go ahead and fill out the third division. The third division has cavalry, artillery, and infantry. These guys are going to go with, do we want to do another 50,000? Yeah, why not? The first corps is really kind of our crack corps. So we'll go with another division of Springfield 1855s, another $54,000 spent, and we'll assign a lieutenant colonel, so that's another 2,000, so 55,000. There you go. So the first corps is now fully built out. It is now 22,000 infantry in whole, and it is composed of 15 brigades. So, you know, where you've got the 20 brigade limit on each flank, this is almost to the max size of a corps at the Battle of Antietam, which will be useful. I don't know if we'll use this corps until the Battle of Antietam, but it will be useful when we go to fight that battle. Second corps needs to go through the same exercise, so we're going to go ahead and try and keep the quality of their weapons as good. We won't be able to do it quite as well as the first corps, but we can outfit one of the brigades with 1855 Springfields and give them a lieutenant colonel as well. Seems like we have a fair number of lieutenant colonels.
Yes, sir.
We could do that for the second division as well, but then we wouldn't have any money for the third division, so the second division will not end up going with the 1855s. So we'll give them a lieutenant colonel, and we're going to go with just a generic 1842 Springfields. It's only $20,000. And then we're going to do the same thing for the third division. Another lieutenant colonel, another Springfield 1842 regiment, and there you have it. So the first and second corps now are fully built out. The third corps is still a bit small. We're going to need to build that up before the Battle of Antietam. The fortunate thing is we have 2 battles. If we can limit our casualties so we can just kind of replace you know, these relatively green troops in the second corps cheaply, then we can use those money, assuming we win both those battles, to build the third corps out for the Battle of Antietam. And maybe by then we'll have the ability to build a small portion of a fourth corps. Wow. Springfield's 10,000 career kills. I didn't know you could do that, so it looks like you can look at all your different total kills for your regiments. We haven't been using the first corps much in recent battles, so you'll see here some of these guys haven't actually fought, or haven't fought, you know, as much as you would think. If we go to the The second corps, you can see in general, much less than our crack units in the first corps, because they've only fought in a couple of battles. Kind of neat, actually. Alright, so we still have 3,000 troops, and we still have $14,000. We could afford one more infantry brigade, I believe, in the third corps. No, actually we can't. Darn. I mean, if we don't make it a full corps, or full brigade, but I don't see the point in doing that. We could if we sold some of our artillery, but I don't really want to do that either. So I've kept division or brigadiers in charge of these elite brigades. We'll kind of leave that as is for now. Go ahead. We're going to give Bass command of a division. So we'll go ahead and raise a new lieutenant colonel here. I'm in charge of Reed's brigade now. And we're going to go ahead and put Bass in charge of a new division in the 3rd Corps. We're going to go ahead and create an artillery brigade in that corps. It's going to be Napoleons because we have 4 of them. And we can build a 12-gun battery. So not quite a full battery, but a 12-gun battery. How much more could we afford if we sold these? 1,100. We could afford, let's see, we could afford 2 more guns in that battery, which would give us a 14-gun battery. Let's do that. I don't think I'm going to build another 6-pound field gun battery. We can build a 14-gun battery, so almost up to the regulations, 16 guns. We still have that overstrength battery here under McCormick. And yeah, so 3rd Corps didn't really make any changes or dents here. We did add the 1 additional battery of artillery. 2nd Corps is fully built, 24,000 infantry. So we now have 46,000 men between the 1st and 2nd Corps. Hopefully we've got another 20-some-odd thousand in the 3rd Corps, so that we'll be going to Antietam with over 60,000 men, which is roughly what the Union brought to bear in that battle. I know this was a little bit longer of a video, guys. Hope you enjoyed my decisive victory at the Battle of 2nd Manassas, and next time we will go ahead and start our campaign looking at the Battle of Antietam, or the Antietam campaign. Now, just to give you guys a heads up, I know I've been alternating Panzer Corps and Ultimate General footage. I'm hoping to have some Cold Waters footage both Saturday and Sunday. I'm thinking about doing a live stream as well over the weekend late at night of Cold Waters, of a 68 campaign. I think I'm getting a little bit better, but I've also been reading a bit up on history, so I've got, I'm going to kind of do those history series on both Saturday and Sunday for Cold Waters. So what the schedule will look like here is, Monday was the podcast, Tuesday was Panzer Corps, Wednesday was Ultimate General, Thursday is Panzer Corps, Friday is Ultimate General, Saturday and Sunday will be Cold Waters, Monday will be the final episode, or actually there'll be 2 more episodes of Panzer Corps in this round of the 2017 Multiplayer Championship. So Monday will be the next round of Panzer Corps, followed Tuesday by more Ultimate General, and then followed by Wednesday wrapping up the Panzer Corps 2nd round of the Multiplayer Championship. So kind of the next couple of days here, you've got Panzer Corps was yesterday, today's Ultimate General, Saturday and Sunday will be Cold Waters, Monday Panzer Corps, Tuesday Ultimate General, and then Wednesday Panzer Corps, followed probably Thursday by more Ultimate General, and then likely more Cold Waters the following weekend. But we'll see how that all shakes up. That's my tentative schedule now, just letting you guys know. Thanks for sticking in there. I know we're approaching an hour here for this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts. And until next time, guys, this is the Historical Gamer saying thank you for watching, and I'm out.